Hello, hello. Welcome
Hi.
to our Team Call Thursdays. Um, so tonight we are talking about onboarding coaches. And what's funny is we actually haven't spent enough time talking about this because I think when Britt and I jumped in, we just kind of jumped in and learned our own things, and we just kind of ran with the ropes. And not everybody like wants to do that. And so I think it took us a long time to realize that everybody learns differently, and what works for somebody might not work for somebody else. And so recently, I can't even remember what I was watching, but since Christmas, it's kind of been on my brain of like, we need to be doing more sneak peeks. We need to be showing people what exactly it is that we do, because I think that so many people would be great at it. They just don't know enough about it. And so when I started researching somebody who is known in the business for doing like, she does a sneak peek, and every time she does it, like she signs like 12 to 15 coaches. So I was like researching her, and I was looking up stuff that she posts on her wall, and I kept seeing that she was posting about this mentorship that she was starting. And I was like, well, what do we have? And Britt and I redid our coach training, which you guys all have access to, and it's fantastic. I mean, if I can say so myself.
We love it.
We think we're so great. No, but really though, like we put a ton of effort into that, and we filmed all those videos, and it really does answer every question that you would ever have. But again, it still doesn't walk you through the practicing and the one-offs. Like, what do I do if, blank blank, or how do I feel like it's too on your own. And so just recently, before March, we decided to well, I just kind of ran with it, and we launched the text chain that you girls are actually all part of. And basically, the hope is that you build kind of like a success pod with these people who are in this group, because you kind of go through the ups and downs of the beginning stages of being a coach, and you kind of learn each other, and um, you get to like, it's like hands-on. So like today, for example, we practice like voice memos, like things that are so silly, but at the same time, like they really do go a long way, and they make all the difference in the world. And so I feel like it's a chance to just be like one-on-one with each other, but then have like different people's personalities come out in the training. And so you don't actually know this, but you're kind of the first to go through it with me in a text chain. So yay. But I personally think it's very effective. I think that let's put it this way. Of all the coaches I've ever signed, the group of these are thriving more than any of the other ones ever were. And I feel almost kind of bad for the ones that are, in the past. I mean, there's nothing I can do now, but I feel kind of bad because I feel like there's so much growth. And so for those that aren't on a text chain, basically all it is each day we talk about one specific subject, and you kind of have a takeaway. So you put something into practice, or you do something that's a vital behavior within the business. And so by the end of 30 days, you should feel very confident in all of the above and running your own business. And so that's kind of the goal, I would say, is just to really feed off of each other. And so Britt and I we're actually going back through the training, and we're going to duplicate it in a Google Doc, so that when you sign coaches, and Britt's going to cover this, you have access to the exact same format, so then you can then do it yourself. So I'll let you kind of cover that, and if I missed anything.
Yeah, no, and so we just are so excited about this because like we hear a lot, like when we're doing personal development and we're listening to what other top coaches have done, we hear a lot that like you're supposed to create systems that are duplicatable, that like other people can come in and do. And so Kim and I have struggled with trying to find the right system, because in some cases you almost feel like you're kind of damned if you do and damned if you don't, like with new coaches, because if you don't give them enough information, they feel really like you just feel really lost. And if you give them too much, you just literally feel like you're drowning. And so either way, it's really hard to find that balance. And so we feel like this text chain in combination with that training that we've created it's giving you everything that you need. And so we love the momentum that it's building. And so we were talking earlier this week about, okay, so now we have this idea. We're both going through it for the first time with our new coaches. how can we, one, make this duplicatable, and two, really set up our coaches so that we're really empowering leaders? Because Kim and I don't want to just be like the leaders on this team, like no one can ever catch up to us. We really want to like share with you our best practices. We want to empower you. We want to help everyone like develop into even better leaders so that then you guys can go ahead and then lead your team, and that people aren't looking to us as the leaders of this team, but your personally sponsored coaches are really looking to you to be the leader because you're stepping into that role. And so we felt like this sense of like this burden of responsibility and excitement of how can we do this? How can we really help our new coaches become leaders? And how can we use this new coach training text chain to really be part of that initiative? And so we created this program where we're calling it like our 3-month mentorship program. And of course, this might change over time. Like we just said, like you guys are the first ones to go through this text chain mentorship program. So this 3-month thing might change as well. So I'm going to try my best to explain it in a way that makes sense. But I should probably type it up or maybe create a graphic. But our plan is like for this 3 months is that for month 1, we'll pretend like to just be really simple. We'll say it's me and my new personally sponsored coaches are on this chain. And then month 2, by the end of this first month, our goal is that all of you guys sign coaches, that you all hit Emerald, that you at least have 1 or 2 coaches on your team. So now you have personally sponsored coaches. So our goal month 2 is to lead the text chain again, to have you as the new coach 1 month in, lead it with us, and have your new personally sponsored coaches on this group text. So now it's us, it's you co-leading it with us next month, and then your new personally sponsored coaches. And then month 3, we won't be on it with you anymore. You will be leading it with your month 1 personally sponsored coaches who are now in their 2nd month, who have now been through this text chain once, and their new coaches that they've signed. And so we are hoping that by creating this system, that it's duplicatable. You're not doing it by yourself. By the time that you lead it by yourself, you've been through it twice with us. And by creating a template, you never have to guess or try to remember what we've shared, but you can just go into this Google Doc that we're creating. You can see the schedule that we've created. You can change it up if you want to, but we're writing down the order that we shared everything in. And you can copy and paste because I know Kim does voice memos. In my group, we write it out. So it'll be great because we can just copy and paste what we've written into this Google Doc. And so if you want to do voice memos, you can, but you can just read off the script. And if you're writing it, because we're doing ours in Facebook Messenger, because not everyone has an iPhone. So you can have a 1-minute limit on the voice memos. And so it's great for us practicing voice memos, sharing them, but it's just not enough time to actually share the topics. So we're writing them out. So you will have this template where you're going to be able to copy and paste and share it with your new coaches. And so we're hoping that this is a system that's duplicatable. We're seeing that it's working really well in both of our different pods right now. And our goal is to help you feel comfortable stepping into that leadership role. And so your personally sponsored coaches are going to see you as a leader. But it's like you have a safety net, right? Like you have like the steps before you. You just have to keep stepping 1 step at a time. And we're with you every step of the way. And then the process would just continue, where then your personally sponsored coaches on month 3 would start leading their own with their personally sponsored coaches and, 2 levels down. And so that's really like what we wanted to share with you guys today, that we're really excited about this new coach mentorship program. If you guys have any other topics that you'd like to add at the end, please let us know, because we're really just trying to pick and choose topics that we think would be really helpful with homework assignments that we feel like are practical and helpful. And hopefully this doesn't make it overwhelming, but it's just 1 step at a time, 1 homework assignment a day to help you grow your business. And so then we're really excited about this 3-month plan. And so when we talk about scheduling your month, which Kim and I are going to both start sharing our schedules in the team page, but our coach sneak peek is the last week of the month. So this month it's on the 30th, the Thursday the 30th, so 2 weeks from now. And so our goal with this program is that on the 30th, we're going to have the coach sneak peek. We're on that next Monday, we're going to, for the first time, host a call for all of the new coaches who are going to start this mentorship program. So like, we're not going to just do it on your own pod, but the big team of everyone who has new coaches is going to be on this Zoom call on that Monday, which is going to be a great for creating a sense of urgency. Like our new coach mentorship program kicks off on Monday with a live call. So like if you want to sign up as a coach, like sign up as a coach. And we're just going to explain what the program looks like just explain what, expectations. And then from there, we're just going to start going through and using the template, copy and pasting from that template that we're creating this month. And so that's something where, again, we want it to be duplicatable. We want to empower you guys as leaders. We also want to give you guys everything that you need to be successful in this business, and hopefully just help you feel really excited and not overwhelmed. And so I'm going to stop there. And if Kim wants to add anything, or if you guys have any questions, we'd love to hear them. But I hope that makes sense.
And just to pipe in, so this is just for coaches that are like wanting to work the business. This isn't for discount coaches. And just to kind of touch, because there are a lot of new coaches, and it's something to say about discount coaches. So a lot of people sign up as a discount, and discounts are great because they're fillers to get you to the next, what's the word I'm looking for?
Rank,
thank you. So they're great because they do get you to rank. However, they're also kind of a fun thing because they can turn into people who want to work the business. All of a sudden, maybe they do a program from beginning to end and they just get like rockin' results. And now all of a sudden they're like inspiring people, and people are like, hey, what are you doing? I want to do what you're doing. And so just always treat them with I kind of treat them as like a high level customer, is so to speak. I guess you could, I check in with them weekly. I make sure they're still working towards their goals. They're drinking their Shakeology, because I would hate to think that they just, oh, you got your discount, you're not my challenge group anymore, you're out. I want to make sure that they know that they are just as valued and just as important as anybody else on our team. And most of them are in our team page, so you can add them. I always just ask first, like if that's something you want, like, do you want to be in the team page? And if not, then of course you just don't add them. So I just thought I'd throw that in there, just because I know a lot of us are signing discount coaches right now, so it's good to have that information. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it, Britt.
Yeah.
Obviously you'll still add them to that training Facebook page, because that really is, if they can go at their own pace. And if they ever need a referral, it's kind of like this is called Mom Brain on high alert right now. It's like an instructional guide.
It's like a reference guide.
I wanted to keep saying Bible.
I mean, the blasphemous? It kind of is.
Not as good as the Bible, but it's up there. Just kidding. If Jesus could come out and do videos in the Bible, it'd be so good.
But coming back from that tangent.
Don't worry that this is recorded.
Good, because I want to watch it again.
Anyway, so we'll open up to questions, because I think that's, thoughts? Or if, girls, since you are in it right now, is there anything you want to add, like that you think would be more helpful, or you think that would be beneficial, or?
I have a question.
Yeah.
What do you do if you have a guy that, like right now, my first coach that I signed, he's a discount coach, and he's the husband of one of my best friends. He wanted it for the Shakeology discount, the veteran discount, but he's a guy. So what do I do with that? And then if I have a guy who wants to be a part of a group, what do I do with that then?
So it's funny that you say this, because I have 3 guys right now that are all I'm talking to, which is weird. So see, might be great timing. Maybe we just create a group that's more geared towards guys. I have a guy who really wants to work the business, and he thinks, because he runs soccer clubs, and he wants to like hit up the moms. So, but I'm like, okay, well, then you would still run a challenge group that would be woman friendly. You know what I mean? So it's not, I don't really know. I think if they just want accountability, I think the Tribe Trifecta is a great place for a guy to live. But if it's a challenge group, it's not the end of the world that they're in. I don't think. I had a couple guys, like Vanessa Perry's husband. He was always in our groups. And then Nicole and Adele, Onis, they were always in our group, and he never minded. He just posted his stuff, and he didn't, I don't know. I don't know that it. Britt, do you have any guys?
I have one guy in my group, and it's not weird. Like, no one has said it's weird. Everyone posts the same. He posts every single day. Like, he's not nothing. It's not creepy. It's not weird. But I also never said it was a women's only group. So, I mean, I target women specifically. So I'm like, I'm looking for women because I feel like I can't really pour into a man as intentionally. But since I don't say women only, like, it's not that expectation. And so, I think that helps too.
Okay.
Yeah. And then he can absolutely be in our team page, obviously. But like, so none of that. I think if we just treat it, and even our text chains right now, I don't think it would be weird if one of the coaches was a guy asking questions or, so I think it's okay. Yeah.
I do too. I don't think, unless like the only thing that would be weird is if someone was uncomfortable sharing like their before photos. But I feel like people are uncomfortable sharing their before photos anyway.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't, like, I know when Adele was in our groups, like, I'd share mine. Like, his wife's there too. So it never really, I don't know. I don't think it's the worst thing. And it's not like things get talked about that's that girly either.
Right.
But that's just me. I mean, it's a lot more empowering, which I feel like men don't usually hear, but maybe they need to,
Is there a guy coach that is a kind of a high-ranking coach that you all would recommend?
There's a couple. Like, there's one in the top 10 right now. There's like Scotty Hobbs. Like, there's actually quite a few top male coaches. We all just don't talk about them that much, but they're there.
But yeah, look up Jamie Fitzpatrick.
Okay.
It's actually Kim and Jamie Fitzpatrick because it's a husband and wife, but the husband is the top coach, not the wife, which is crazy. And they're fantastic. And he, like, great examples. Scotty Hobbs has been in the top forever, and he's up there. So yeah, there's lots.
Yeah, Trey Bear.
I think he's the one.
You don't think he's a coach?
No, he's one of the ones that got eaten up by that weird wine MLM. You didn't hear about that?
I've never heard of this. What? I'm gonna have to look into this. How did he switch? He was like making millions of dollars. How did he get switched into like wine?
That's why this whole MLM thing, I think, came up, because all these coaches were switching to this wine thing.
Weird.
Anyway.
Okay, I'm like trying to look them up now. I'll like look them up later.
Yeah. Anyway.
It really surprises me that there's not more guys involved in this, because the workouts, I feel like a lot of them are geared more towards male physique.
I agree.
I just think the guys don't really give it a shot, and like then they don't want to like post sweaty selfies or, I think it's more of that part than it is.
And and like for example, the guy that wants to sign up as a coach, all he sees is what I do, and he's like, do I have to do that? Like, do I have to like get up and like post, like inspirational things? I'm like, no, like you can find your own niche and your own way, whatever. But it's kind of funny. But yeah, I agree. I think men don't also think they have to go to the gym. They have to so lift heavy weights, Anyway, any other questions before we stop recording?
I don't want to hog all the time,
but
I have another question.
That's okay. Go ahead.
How long did it take you all to get to where you feel like you all run this group now, where you're writing all this stuff and you're very confident in the training, and I mean you're training other people, and you're talking about how in 3 months we're going to be able to do that as well, and that's a very overwhelming thought. How long did it take you all to get to where you felt like you could mentor other people in this?
I think it's a fake it till you make it mentality for sure. I think even when Kim and I created that training where we which was just last fall, where we made all those videos, even then we still felt like we didn't even know what we were doing. We just looked at what other coaches were doing. We just made lists of things that we thought were important, and we watched what top coaches said about it, and then recreated the videos. And so I think sometimes it's easy to get stuck in this mentality of like, I don't know enough to lead people. But if you think about it, like, as a new coach, like here you are a couple weeks in and you know what Success Club means. You know how to enroll a customer and you know how to enroll a new coach. You know about our team pages. You know about your coach online office. You're starting to learn about Facebook affinity. You know a lot more than you think you know. Like, so for someone else who's brand new, you have so much to share with them that they've never heard of before. So Kim and I don't have all the answers. We don't know everything, but we know where to find the answers. And so that's really what it's about. You know, like we'll give you, like you can find the information and then share that and reflect it back. And after you've looked it up once or twice, you'll start to remember it so that next time someone asks, you don't have to look it up again. But it's really just, we're learning. Like we didn't know any of this before. And so we just started to learn, and both of us just decided that we thought it would mean more if it came from us as opposed to just keep sharing other people's videos. And so we just started filming our own, you know, like let's start our own text, let's start our own page, let's start our own because we want people to see our faces, and, you know, and so that's really what. So you absolutely on month 3 will be able to leave this text chain, you know, and when someone asks a question and you don't know the answer, you ask Kim, you know, and she'll tell you and then you'll relay it back, you know, so you're not on your own.
I was going to say, like, that's part of it. Like, I have questions all the time, and my questions now are more like higher level, like how do I get elite points, or how do I get premier points, or how do I, you know, bigger picture. But then I just go to my coach and ask her those questions so that I'm equipped, so that when you guys have those questions, I have the answer. Do you know what I mean? I feel like you realize, like, Sarah, you do so much already that you could coach somebody just fine. I know that's
I don't feel like that.
But you could. I mean, you know how to run a group on a group tracker. You make a template. I think that you'd be surprised what you end up learning in a month's time just from coaching. So you'll be there. And if you're not, like, then you just slow it down. You know what I mean? But I have no doubt.
Aw, you're so sweet.
You got this. Katie, do you have a question?
Yeah, I do. Everything is just really overwhelming right now. Like there's this group text message, there's a challenge tracker, there's all these like different Facebook groups, and like I feel like I'm behind where I should be compared to, like, I guess the other girls, which probably isn't the best way to look at it, but I don't know, I feel like they're constantly like signing people up or doing all this stuff, and
No.
everybody keeps saying, no.
I totally get where you're. Okay, number one, you're actually the exact same as all of them. Number one.
Okay.
So take that into consideration. And I think that, you know, it's really, actually, you just kind of brought up a really good point, is this business is crucial that you learn your own path and that you don't compare yourself to others. Because unfortunately, as women, that's like the number one thing we do. And then, you know, and of course, here we are comparing our bodies. So then there's that whole mindset that you have to like wrap your head around. So be confident in who you are and your pace and your story, and don't worry about like what all they're doing. And as far as notifications go, and I think I briefly covered this, but I agree, this is probably something we should probably add this to the list, Britt. I turn a ton of them off. So like I don't have any notifications on my challenge group tracker. None of them go off on my phone. I just go back through and look who's tagged me, and that's basically all I do. I turn off the notifications for any of the team pages. And then when I sit down to do my power hour, I have the groups written out. So I have like tribe, you know, for the love of the game, your best red life, and hard hitters, my personal page, and my fitness page. And I literally just go through and I like catch up on the page. And then it's literally out of my brain till the next day. You know what I mean? And then I go through each of those, and then I just out of my brain. And I don't go back because I'm getting no notifications for them. So it's easy for me to, I think the only notifications I really get are for like my own run groups, like because you can't really turn those off. And then obviously your personal page. But I just try to like, don't feel behind. If you turn the notifications off, you'll never feel behind because you know you're going to go and sit down and do some work. Do you know what I mean? Is that helpful?
Yeah, that was really helpful.
Because I know that feeling. I remember when I first signed up, I was in like, there are other groups that I could add you to too. And like, it was just like, whoa, wow, like this, a lot of, and you go from like having like a couple notifications on Facebook to all of a sudden you have like 59 and you're like, what happened? What did I join?
And it becomes like normal after a while, but it is like so, because I didn't even use Facebook before I became a coach. And so even joining my first challenge group, I had to like figure out Facebook again because they were all on Facebook. And so going from that to posting to Kim and I, we add you to Kelly's page and to our page. When we joined, we were added to our coach's page, her coach's page, and Kelly's page, and a social media page. And I think there were 6 or 7 pages. And it was like, you can imagine. So we really try. And yeah, I did the same thing. I turn off all notifications for my challenge tracker app. I've turned off all notifications for Facebook pages unless it's a current free group I'm running or our team page and hard hitters. And even then they don't come up on my phone. Like I have to go in and actually see on Facebook, but I get notified in Facebook that these things are happening, but they don't pop up on my phone ever. So the only notifications that I do see on my phone right now are when people message me directly and when they text me, and there are times when I even turn off the messaging. And so then it's just when you sit down for your power hour, you can just bang through it all. And then, like Kim said, you don't feel behind because, you'll see it all tomorrow,
Well, and it doesn't help. Like you think of just me, like I'll text you all in the middle of the night because guess what? I'm feeding and it's like it's a downtime for me. So then you wake up right out of the gate and you can feel behind. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You really have to decide, like, I'm going to put that over here and I'm not even going to worry about any of that until I'm ready to worry about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's definitely how I feel being 3 hours ahead of most of you. I wake up with like 50 text messages every morning and I'm like, what the heck happened? But
yes. No, I agreed. I know. And it does become something that is exciting too. You know what I mean? Like,
no. Yeah. It's like good stuff to read. It's just like, holy cow.
Right. All of a sudden your brain, it's like learning again. You're like, yeah, whole new world. Agreed.
Yeah.
So just turn them off, shut it off, and just focus on like when you're ready to do that,
Yeah. Okay. Britt, I have a question for you if that's okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Since you like work full time still, what does your daily schedule look like? Like, do you break your power hour up during the day or like, how does that work for you?
Yeah, so my schedule looks a lot different now because I am working towards doing this full time. So so I'll share that. But my schedule right now, I get up at 3:50 in the morning, and that's when I work out before work, and I like do maybe 20 minutes of my power hour, just kind of checking in. Like if people send me messages overnight, that's kind of when I respond to those messages. And then I have an hour drive to work too. So like I get up at 3:50, I have an hour drive to work. So I do like 20 minutes of a power hour. I do my workout and then I'm at my desk by 6:30 or 7. And so then I'm at my desk and I barely I try not to do any Beachbody. I like schedule my posts in advance. I don't use a scheduling tool, but I know what I'm going to post throughout the day and kind of the time frame. So all I have to do is copy and paste from my notes and post the picture. So I'm not on Facebook all day. And I might respond to a couple messages here and there. But then normally at lunchtime, I don't really take a lunch break so that I can leave work earlier. But like while I'm in the kitchen, like heating up my lunch or something, I might do like 20 minutes more. I might sit down for a second and just, again, respond to any messages, all of that. And then at nighttime is when I kind of do like my most work. So then that's when I check into online groups, comment on everyone's posts, do my inviting, reach out to anyone. That's like, and then I do my personal development in the car. I listen to my personal development a lot so that I can kind of like use that time wisely. I also use my, so it's an hour each way. I'll schedule phone calls on that commute so I can talk to potential coaches if they have questions. I can talk to my current coaches and just check in with them. That's when I try to do all of that stuff so that by the time I get home, the main stuff is just, commenting on everyone's posts, kind of planning my posts for the next day, sending invites for whatever I'm inviting to. And so that's kind of like how I break up my day. And I used to really just do an hour, and it was kind of like that. It was like 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, or I might do, 20 minutes and then like 40 minutes at night while I was watching TV. But now that I have bigger goals, I structure my time a little differently.
Okay. Yeah. That's helpful because I feel like, I'm on Facebook all the time at work because I don't have a lot of work right now, so I'm like sitting there bored. But once my work picks up or I get a new job, hopefully, I like can't be on my phone all the time. So I'm gonna have to like learn how to restructure my day.
Yeah, and so that's when it comes in really handy. The idea of like you just decide you're not gonna be overwhelmed, you're not gonna feel behind. And it's interesting too because your customers oftentimes reflect kind of your season of life. Like, whereas for Kim, most of you on her team are moms. A lot of you guys, like our moms are in that season of life. Whereas for me, and some of you guys are already stay-at-home moms, so like you work full-time at home, and now you're picking up Beachbody as another job. Whereas a lot of my coaches, I only have one who's a full-time mom. Everyone else is works full time, and so it's just a different dynamic. So it's interesting. Like I don't necessarily always feel behind in the same way, just because the text messages or people checking into the groups are messaging me. A lot of my people are on the same schedule, and so it's not like as overwhelming. And you just decide that it's not going to be a big deal. So it's helpful to turn off all the notifications so I don't get distracted at work when all I really want to do is Beachbody, and then really just focus when I get home and just try to power through it as fast as I can and try not to get distracted by, I watch like one TV show a week. I really just try to power down and like be really focused in my evening time.
Okay.
And so when I started too, I was full-time working, and my school, which worked really well for Britt. We both were on the exact same, it did work quite well. And then when I stopped working, then, it was like a whole new ballgame. So it is possible. It's possible on all chords to do what you want with this business. So
can we just go back to the fact that Brittany, you get up at 3:50 in the morning? like what? I thought I got up early. I get up at 4:30, and I thought that was like crazy.
No, and like the only time that it bugs me is like when people just assume, like they say stuff like, "Oh, you just must need less sleep." Like, "Oh, it's just I couldn't do it." But in reality, like I never thought I could be this person. I used to sleep in really late. I used to like hate getting up. I used to snooze all the time. But it's just like when we talk about how your dreams and your why have to be bigger, like you just, like I cannot wait for the day where I never have to see the 3 o'clock hour again. But in this season of my life, like I have to do it. So, which is great because it's funny because I do have coaches on the East Coast, and I've 3 or 4 of my coaches are nurses, and and then they have nurses too, like who all work night shift, and so like they laugh, like they're all at work, and I'm like messaging them, or like, okay, it's the middle of the night. I know, I'm up. Anytime you have a question, I'm up.
Get it done.
How much sleep do I get?
Yeah.
So I feel that. Okay, so I really want to preface this by like, you don't have to do what I'm doing.
Don't worry, I won't.
You don't have to be successful. Like you can. I wasn't always like this, and I was building a successful business, but I just have bigger goals, so I sleep less. So, and this week has been hard because 2 of the nights I was up till almost midnight working on my marketing job because I have really good projects, so not even Beachbody. But so typically I sleep from, on it probably average, I go to sleep around 11 and I get up at 3:50.
Oh my gosh.
I know. But I don't try to make anyone do that. Like I don't, but sometimes I'm up later and sometimes I go to sleep a little earlier. It just depends on what's happening in my life. So, but then I do the majority of my work on the weekends. So I try to carve out that time where I'm not, instead of going to brunch with friends, like I just try to really work on my business only because I have bigger goals. And I heard like Melanie Mitro say once that she's willing to live her life now like other people won't, so that she can one day have the life that that like everyone dreams of. And like that's just me. I'm in like the grind season, so that then one day I can jump on like 11 o'clock calls with you guys if I wanted, because I'm just at home. You know, so one day. But right now it's just a different life season. So, you know, so I'm all about.
Hey, I think it's crazy. Yeah. I'm in the middle of reading that cool book, The Miracle Morning.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm all about figuring out how to make my morning time really work. So it fascinated me that you got up that early. I was not at all trying to like
call
you crazy or anything like that. Like
I didn't feel like that from you, but like, you know, like I hear from people, they're like, "Oh, it's just so easy for me," and I'm like, "No, it's not. Painful."
yeah.
Like, and so I totally believe like in the miracle morning, like getting up at quiet time, I work out. I haven't read that book, but one of my friends was saying like that's really what it talks about, is like establishing like that routine where you like meditate or pray in the morning, like get your workout in, get some movement in before you start your day. And so that's definitely what I do.
Yay.
Yay. And if you guys ever have any questions, like you can absolutely feel free to reach out to me directly. I don't feel weird about that. In the same way that I tell my coaches they can reach out to Kim. So like you guys can always reach out about it. So.
Well, great.
Okay.
Let me stop recording. Hey, thanks for listening.